It's time for the Manhattan Pizza postgame show on the Gameday Broadcast Network. Manhattan Pizza, serving the best dang pizza in town. Today's game will be archived for on-demand replay online at GamedayMagazine.com. You can order your copy of this game as well as on the new Gameday Broadcast Store. With over 1,800 broadcasts available for purchase, you can save these memories forever. Now let's rejoin the broadcast team on the Gameday Broadcast Network.
And we welcome you back here to the Manhattan Pizza post-game report. Our final score here this evening, 8-2 Herndon. Andy Hayes, John Murphy with you here. 9 hits pounded out by Herndon, 7 for Broad Run, 2 errors. Story of this game, John. Summarize it for us here. What happened in this one?
I would say the aggressive nature of Herndon, timely hitting for Herndon, and too many wild pitches and pass balls for Broad Run.
If we had to go back and kind of pinpoint a spot in this game where things kind of changed, it was the 5th inning. And that is where Herndon started to find some success at the plate. They hit the ball.
Parker Hill.
Parker Hill was the guy that kind of really put in a good afternoon here. Schnars with the tag out there. Sac fly, made it right. And that kind of set Herndon up for an opportunity. And there was a controversial play at home where we kind of showed whether or not it was going to be an out or a safe call. But the key was Herndon was able to capitalize on their opportunities against Caleb Adams when things were presented to him. And that was the difference, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's Hutchins hitting one through on a drawn-up infield. Right. Infield's back, but Coach Cassidy, you got to play the odds of, I'm in a 1-0 ball game. Let me this is the controversial play here.
And that was a pickoff play, the first and third play, as most teams like to run. That was a big one that made it 2-0. And then Herndon.
This is the rundown. Johnson gets Hutchins in the rundown to keep Herndon at bay in that inning, but then it kind of fell apart with some funny little things happening.
So Broad Run went back to the dugout, trailing 2-0. But again, this is the 5th inning, so it's not like it's early in the game here. Broad Run could not have found an answer today for Tyler Reef.
But you look at Reef; he goes 5 innings and has 8 strikeouts. You got to put the ball in play. You've got to put pressure on the other team defensively.
Here's a ball hit out towards left. This one called an error by our official scorer, John Murphy. Definitely an error.
It was Siegel's fly ball to the left.
Yeah, Siegel made
but for
it
a
out
little
to
guy,
second.
he's got some pop to hit the ball the oppo.
The one thing today, the wind has been blowing 30, 40 miles an hour, and neither team was able to get that ball up in the wind at all to help them. And that was a credit to the pitching today. I mean, that really made the difference. They kept the ball down. Broad Run unable to advance the run over to third, a runner around to score. I mean, ultimately, missed opportunities. If you're Pat Cassidy, you're going back and you're looking at this whole thing and you're saying, hey, we had our chances, and they were not able to capitalize here, John. And ultimately, Herndon, being a good ball club, they came back and they were able to do some things here in the 7th inning.
Perfect example of what you were talking about. Well, this is the 7th inning. This is when the wheels kind of fall off. It was a line drive caught by Hoekston, but the wheels kind of fall off here on Kennedy with balls in the dirt. De La Haba did I think the best he could probably do with them. Johnson not moving all the way through the ball makes an error, puts another runner on.
But these are the little things, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
In March, April, this is what coaches are working on in practice. And the opportunities here for Herndon, they have to feel good about the manufacturing of runs because they put pressure on. Here's Kai Parrott with a big hit down the line. That one scored a couple. And that eventually pulled Herndon out front. But the little things like the base running, right? We saw that. So Herndon in March right now doing the little things that as a coach you'd be happy with.
Well, you talk about it right there. That is a perfect case where as a second baseman, you got to know your job is to be at the bag when that ball gets cut and comes back.
7th inning, Herndon pulls away. A couple of nice hits there, pair it with one, and then our guy, the guy that was killing Broad Run all day, Parker Hill, with a hit right up the middle, and another error on Broad Run. And so that really kind of changed the complexion of the ball game here, John. It was, like we said, a 2-0 game in the 5th.
Right.
And all of a sudden we're looking at 8-1. And Broad Run not going to look good in the scorebook on this game, but at the same time, you know, they've got things to work on, and they had some positives out there. I thought Caleb Adams threw well today.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. If nothing else, Coach Cassidy, you know, Caleb's thrown 3 times now so far this year, as I understand it, and all 3 times he's thrown well. So maybe he's found that third pitcher to go with McCormick and Powell. And if he has, maybe they become a 3-pitcher team, and you can get by with 3 pitchers especially with a kid like McCormick. He'll take the ball every day and go out there. You know, it's not the luxury of that he's had with Jessup and Brocky and Shane and Devlin. I mean, those kids aren't here anymore. So it's kind of you're seeing the end of the split for Broad Run too, because the junior and senior classes aren't really that. I don't want to say they're not that strong, but the numbers just aren't there. But you look back in the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th grades, there are 8 to 10 kids in each one of those classes that are good ball players, not great ball players, but they're good ball players that by the time they get to this varsity level, he'll have, you know, I give him 2 years, and not to say that they won't compete this year, 2 years from now, he should be competing every year again.
Well, the Herndon Hornets are going to compete this year. Good ball club, well coached. Congrats to them here tonight. Winners 8-2. Hey, congrats on a first broadcast. It won't be the last, will it? We'll get you back for another one?
You just got to make sure I'm in town.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank our production staff here tonight. Mike Cerrone, Caitlin Sellers on camera, Helene Shane, our producer. For John Murphy, I'm Andy Hayes saying so long from Ashburn, Virginia. 8-2, our score. The Herndon Hornets remain unbeaten. We'll see you next time here on the Game Day Broadcast Network.